And I'm Gabby, and we are excited to have professionals from SingerLewak today to speak with everyone.
So before we get started, here's the announcements for the week. Join us tomorrow, March 2nd, for our government panel to learn about the alternative accounting options. Sunday, March 7th is our movie night. Join us for an evening of fun and de-stressing. Don't forget to fill out your apparel form that was sent out via the newsletter. To receive this semester's swag, the deadline for that is March 14th. It's not too late to sign up for our mentorship program. You'll get paired up with a student and professional mentor and get advice from someone with experience in your desired field. Keep an eye out for our weekly newsletter with the links to our YouTube page. And if you haven't already, connect with us through Instagram at CSUN to get updates. Lastly, if you've missed out on any of our meetings or podcasts, we got you. They are on our YouTube page, so don't miss out.
And today we are lucky to have Lior Temkin from SingerLewak presenting on the importance of networking in the accounting industry.
We encourage everyone to have their cameras on, and please wait until the end to ask questions. And when you do, we're going to use the hand emoji on Zoom. Without further ado, Lior, feel free to take it away.
All right, thank you, everybody. Yes, if everybody can please put their cameras on, because this is as if I'm in the fourth conference room that you guys have over there, looking at you guys. So if you've seen me speak before, you'll know that I'll pick on you if I don't see that you're paying attention or that your face is not on the screen. So anyways, thanks for having me. Yes, no? Yes?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. So, okay. I just want to make sure that no anything like that. Hello?
You're cutting off actually. And the screen is frozen as well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard that. I can't see you though.
Okay, hold on one second, and then I'll need. Okay. Not as great. Let me get closer. Is this better? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, now we can.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll start. So, like I said, I will pick on you if I don't see your face and start asking you questions. Same way that I do it at the at CSUN. And yeah. So today we're going to talk about networking. Look, most of you guys are probably seniors right now or juniors about to graduate. And how many of you guys, if you guys can just use the hand emoji thingy, whatever you guys want to call it, how many of you guys have done recruiting for the past 2 years? Okay, Michael, Tyler, Ron. Okay, that's good. This is good. Now I actually know your names now. Mary, that's great. Tajesh, you haven't done anything, have you? Okay. Anyways, so why did you guys start 2 years ago if you're about to graduate now? So Mary, if you wanna maybe say a few things.
I started it when I first came to CSUN.
Okay.
Because I went to Stuart's workshop and I learned a lot about recruiting.
Great.
So
Okay.
they encouraged me to start sooner.
Okay, great. Okay, so recruiting is part of networking. Okay, why is it part of networking? What's the word that comes out of networking? Network, right? You're trying to build up your network. Okay. networking is something that is very, very important for your profession. Whether you're in school, right now you're networking with your fellow students. And then later on, as you go into, business, you go into public accounting, you'll be networking with people that work in the same firm, people that work with other firms. You'll be networking with bankers, attorneys, all those, other accountants, like I said. So networking is super important. Why though is it important? Does anybody know?
To get your face out there.
Okay, to get your face out there. Okay, Kyle, that's a good one. Dave. See, I told you guys I'm going to pick on people that I don't see their face. So Dave. Dave Serpas. Oh, he hung up. No, actually, no, he just moved over. Okay, never mind. Ron, you there?
Yep. I would
Okay.
say that your future career depends on the network that you have, and you might have a stable career right now, but once that stops, you rely on your network.
True, very true. So you're meeting people, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do in the future, maybe. Okay. It's very similar to what we're doing right now as recruiting, right? So right now you're recruiting, trying to find a job when you graduate from college, right? Well, networking is what we actually do. You're trying to build up your network, trying to bring in, show who you are to these people, just in case later on you might find a job, or you bring in additional, build human capital. That was a good one. Who said that?
That was me.
Nicole. Nice. Very cool. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Now we do, when we're, professionals, we do what is called networking to bring in additional work, to bring in new clients, by going out to these networking events, which me personally, I don't like. I'll be honest with you. Okay. I have a different method of doing networking, that is not your typical, well, up until last year, we would go to like these big events and meet up with 100 people and change cards and do all that stuff. Okay. Obviously now with Corona, we don't do any of that stuff, but do we stop networking? No. What are some of the ways do you guys think that we do networking right now?
Phone calls, Zoom calls, hit them up on your email.
Yep. LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram. You got to be careful what you put on Instagram, people, or your Facebook. Okay. And obviously try to keep it professional on LinkedIn. But now, so before we used to go out to dinner with people. That was kind of like networking, or lunches. So some people do virtual lunches. Okay. But it's kind of weird, to be honest with you. I've tried a couple of them, but it's really weird, because you're like talking, and there's a lot of people in the room, and it's not the same. It's not the same human touch. We also do wine tasting. Okay, so that's pretty cool, because you're not driving. So then, but you got to be careful with that, right? You don't want to get hammered and start saying weird stuff on the Zoom. We've had people do that, not from my firm, but from outside. It's kind of similar to when you're going out to do these networking events at the different places. You got to be careful not to drink too much and say silly stuff, and you got to be professional, right? So today, how many people are wearing ties? I see one. Justin. Michael, I don't see like the bottom half. So no, none. Okay. All right. That was a test, because you guys are supposed to, this is a networking event, right? learning about networking. Got to wear a tie or at least a button down shirt. I just changed, just so you know, 5 minutes before I got on the call. But see, so networking is, does anybody have any questions so far? Please, because my whole thing is that I like to have more interaction just instead of just me talking. But have you guys, since you guys are part of different groups, okay, have you guys done any networking? Forget about recruiting now, but networking. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially now.
Doing what? What did you guys do?
Well, I definitely love to. I really love the learning aspect. I've learned so much about the day to day, and I've learned it's outside of the classroom. There's so much learning, getting to go on the phone calls, Zoom calls.
But are you talking about more on the recruiting side of it or the networking? Because the networking is like you're trying to build up your own network, not just, you know, to get a job, okay? But it's more, you know, for different things. Because look, here's the biggest thing that I look for when I do some networking events is how are you going to be helpful to my clients? Okay, a lot of people, when they go out to network, they try to figure out, how am I going to get new business out of this thing? Which is completely the wrong thing to do. Okay, well, how can I trust you? Justin, I just met you. Michael, I just met you. Jajesh, I know you for a while now, so I definitely don't want to, you know, refer you any business. But, you know, like Nicole, how do I know you? Just from meeting you right now, how do I know that you're going to take care of my clients? Let's just say you're a bank. Nicole, what do you do other than a student?
I volunteer a non-COVID, you know, time. I used to volunteer at nonprofits, multiple events. I volunteer on campus.
Great. So let's just say I have a client that says, you know what, I need somebody to help me figure out which nonprofits to give money to, or which nonprofits we want to volunteer in. So I'm going to say, you know what, I know Nicole. I've met her a few times. She's a great person. She does a lot of volunteer work in so many different places. You should definitely talk to her and see what each of the places does in order for you to then figure out if you want to go and volunteer over there. Make sense? Michael, we just met right now, and you at a networking event, and you come to me and you say, you know what, Lior, I am the greatest banker in the world. I'm going to say, wow, that's amazing. Let me just give you all my clients, because you just told me that you were amazing. Do you think that that's going to happen?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because probably I'll have to show you.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that you're probably not the best banker, or that
no,
you
but
are?
You have to see my credentials.
Okay, so how do I do that?
I can show you my portfolio.
Great. Have you heard of Madoff?
No.
No?
Oh, you mean?
Anybody else?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so people can put whatever they want on their piece of paper and send it over to you telling you, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? How do I give you the keys to my car? My client is my car. How do I give you the keys to then go and be their banker? I got to get to know you. And usually it takes a really long time. So when you guys are doing networking events, don't expect to get business out of it right away. Okay, don't expect to get to know like people or your future spouse right away, right? It's like dating. You get to know them a little bit before you show them to your friends and your family, right? So this is exactly the same thing. It takes time. A lot of people get really, I know that I work with a lot of people in my firm and give them different ideas of how to do networking events that are a little bit more strategic and that people are actually going to get things out of it. but don't expect, just like recruiting, just the first time that you meet me, you think I'm gonna then just hire you right away? No, I'm gonna do some background check on you. And the same thing I do with networking. Let's just say we share a client. That's the best way to get work out of me, right? Because I can trust my client and ask my client, hey, is this Michael for real? Is he really the best thing? And they'll say, absolutely. Just take a look at my returns. Take a look at all the income that he's generating for me. Okay, that's the way that I do it. A lot of people love to just go to different events, go to lunches and dinners and all that stuff. In my opinion, all that stuff is a waste of time. How are you going to be able to get work? Okay, so Caroline. Yes, I called on you.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Hi.
Question again.
Okay, so how are you going to give me work? How am I going to get business out of you? What do you think that you need to do? We just met. I'm going to tell you I'm the best CPA in the world because I work at SingerLewak. Are you just going to give me a bunch of work? We just met.
I can tell you like my experience and how I've done with work in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but how am I going to get work out of you?
If you hire me, I guess.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, we're not talking about recruiting right now. We're talking about networking, right? So networking usually in the accounting field is to get business out of, like, let's just say you're an attorney. I'm a CPA. We have a mutual client and they tell you, you know what, you need to go to lunch with him. He's my CPA. I need you guys to be close because we're going through a bunch of transactions and I need you to be able to really work with them really well. Usually, okay, the attorneys wait until they actually see our work. So we work together on some mergers and acquisitions, M&A work, and they see, wow, he's got a great team. So it's from real world experience. That's the best way to get business out of people. And the networking portion is, it could be, a lot of people used to think that it's just, you know, organized type of things. It's not, okay? I'm on the phone with attorneys and consultants all the time, okay? That's networking. You talk to them. You see what's going on with their family. You know, you really, you have to show that you care, okay? But a lot of people, what they do is they go to these events and just say, I need to get business out of these people because otherwise it's a waste of time. Well, that's true. And sometimes it works for people. Sometimes it doesn't work for people. I'll tell you a story for, you know, when I was a manager, one of the things that the partners that were in charge of me told me that, okay, I need to start now bringing in work. Okay, so bringing in new clients. Well, how do you do that? So what I did was I went to every single event. I went to, like, for lunches, for breakfast, for dinners, and you know, for 2 years I worked really, really hard. Do you guys know how much work I actually brought in? How much new clients? Just guess.
Probably.
Brianna. What? Who said that?
Sorry, I spoke right when you were calling Brianna.
No. Please, Nicole. Yes.
I said probably
how much?
A handful or less.
Handful? 5 new clients?
Probably
okay.
Less.
Okay. Marion. Or Mark. Or Diana. Do you guys want to guess?
10.
10. Okay. Wow, I like you. Okay, go.
100.
Another one. 100. Who said that? Brianna, you get a job. No. The truth is, it was 0. A big fat 0. And you know what else the partners told me afterwards? we need you to stop doing this. We need you to stop going to all these different events. You know why? Because your clients are complaining that you're not paying attention to them. Okay, so at that point, I kind of switched. And I was like, you know what? What's a different way of doing these types of, networking events and getting things out of clients, or, getting new business, and then also taking care of clients. And I figured it out. What I did was I went to my clients and I really focused for a whole year on giving them the best client service. And you know what happened from that? Their friends, their business associates, their attorneys, their family members, they became my clients. How? Because I provided great customer service to my existing clients. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yes.
And Andrew. Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do, Andrew?
I don't do anything. I'm just a full-time student.
Got it. Okay. So we're not going to pick on you now. Does anybody have a job where they are dealing with customers? Whether it's retail, whether it's, at a bank, whatever. Yes. Anelia. What do you do, Anelia? Tell everybody.
Yes, I work in nail salon.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I see a lot of clients every day, and then because I'm doing the best job for them, I'm performing the best client service that I can. So they refer their friends, family members to me. So it's not only they're coming to salon to me, they bring their family members, friends. So it's really good. It's like word of mouth. And then because you're performing good jobs, so they're trusting you. So they're coming. It's so easy. Like it's not wasting any money. You just the word of mouth.
Great. See, that's you're not wasting time. You're not wasting money. You're not wasting anything. You're just giving great customer service, which we should be doing anyways, right? And you're getting new business out of it. That's the trick. Okay, so many people are going to tell you, you need to go to all these different events and do all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. Now, when you're in school, the recruiting part, that's a whole different thing. You need to go to every single event. Okay, you need to go and meet as many people as possible. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Recruiting is super important. Okay, but when you're doing networking, which is trying to bring in business or trying to build your overall network, really do it in a targeted type of way. For some of you guys, who likes to be, show of hands, who likes to be in a big room in front of a bunch of people? Yeah, you guys are all accountants. There are some accountants that can go into a room and just start talking. I work with a guy like that. His name is Dave Krajanowski. Yeah, he was a former managing partner, and he loves to go to these events. Okay, he loves going in front, and he knows a lot of people. So it's more for like hey, how's it going, guys? It's been a while. Okay, I've done it before, and I don't like it. All right, Nicole. Yes, I agree with you. I don't like it either. I don't like, being, contrary to what, Tajesh probably told you guys, I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't like to be in a big room like that and try to talk to people. If I like you, if you're, if you're a friend of mine, we've dealt, we dealt with things before, then it's easy. It's an easy conversation, but it's kind of weird. It's like speed dating, right? The networking that some of these things, I mean, that's what dating is, networking, right? But anyway, so for some people that works. Christopher, do you like to be at these types of events?
No, not necessarily.
Why not? Have you been at any of these events and it's been rough?
I can't really say I have, so I guess I don't really have the personal experience to back it up because everything's been online for the last couple of semesters, so they really haven't had that opportunity.
Okay, so you're new to CSUN? Newer? What year are you in?
No, I'm a junior. I've only started recruiting recently.
Got it. Okay. So you know, at some of these events, like I said, it's huge. It's a bunch of people and everybody's out there to try to get the same thing, right? What is it? To get business out of other people. Okay. It's not to, hey, to get to know people and, you know, see who these people are. What about Tyler?
What was the question?
Question was, have you ever been to these events before? Okay, networking events.
I've been to Meet the Firms once. It was last year, spring 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay,
I'd
but that's
say,
recruiting. That's recruiting. That's not really networking. Okay. But how did you feel? How did you feel? You were overwhelmed probably, right? Because there's so many firms out there. So it's similar, right? You, at these networking events, you have so many people over there and they're trying to talk to you and meet you and get to know you and blah, blah, blah. And then it takes time. It just, you know, you get to know these people, you take their card and then you know, the following month or so, you follow up and say, hey, let's meet up for, you know, a Zoom call, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's how you start it. With some people, that is the best way to start. Another way that I try to help some of the younger staff, some of the managers, is by, you know, taking them along with me. Well, obviously now we're not going, but let's just say we're pre-COVID. When I went to lunch with one of my friends, I call them my friends, the people that refer me business, because we're like friends. And I asked also the other side, my friend, to also bring somebody that's a junior. I had the pleasure of doing that with a few of the older partners. And that's how they were able to get me to meet other people. And it's kind of like an arranged marriage, I guess. Hey, I'm gonna bring one, you bring one, and let's see if they work out. Okay, that's another way. But we don't get married at the end of the lunch. That's the only difference. I see that some people are paying attention. That's good. Isaac.
Yeah.
Have you had any networking experience or any activities like that? What do you do?
Well, last semester I attended the networking workshop.
I'm sorry.
Well, for me, it wasn't that bad, mostly because previous semesters. I mean, the only thing I kind of feel a little bit stressed is meeting someone new, like someone from a different firm that I'm not familiar with. So I was kind of preparing for that, kind of, you know.
So what do you do? What do you do to prepare yourself for these meetings?
I mostly try to find their LinkedIn, trying to see what they've done in the past, to see if we have something in common we could talk about.
True.
Or something I want to expand on. So
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And you do the same thing with networking. Sometimes people say, hey, you need to meet this person, okay, the attorney that I work with. So then you start doing some research, go online, you know, don't stalk them, please. Okay, the stalking is illegal apparently. Okay, but you start, you know, to look at who's in their network, in their LinkedIn network. Okay, what do they do? What's, you know, their background? And then you can find out, hey, wait a second, we have so many people in common. So then when you meet with them, you say, hey, so you know this person, I saw that you guys are connected through LinkedIn and blah, blah, blah. And try not to say, hey, you know this person, but like all these people, because then it's kind of creepy. They're gonna say, whoa, you spent a little bit too much time on LinkedIn. But yeah, does anybody have any questions so far? You guys are too quiet for me. This is all, you know, different. So I know, but just I need you guys to ask questions.
What do you think the
learning? Yeah.
What do you think the learning opportunities are? Like, I feel like I've learned so much about what like I want to go into consulting. What they do, I like outside of the classroom. It's amazing. Like I learned so much more.
What is consulting? What do you want to consult on?
Technology consulting.
Okay. So what do you know about technology so far?
There's ERPs, and when it comes to implementation, that's where I would like to help others out.
Okay. So the first thing that you really need to do is you need to know your stuff. You need to know what you want to do, okay? Or what your profession is. So if you're going to go into one of the bigger companies that have the consulting arms, right? And in the ERP areas, the CRMs, all that stuff. I'm just throwing acronyms now at you guys. Nobody has a clue what I'm saying, but it's okay. Neither do I. Somebody is not on mute, and I can hear. Okay. Anyways, so what were we talking about? Oh, so we really get to understand what you're doing, okay? And the how are you going to bring in business? By really knowing your stuff, right? Or knowing who to bring with you. Okay, you don't always need to know everything. You're not going to know everything, okay? But the consulting in that area is going to be huge. It's going to continue to be huge. It's already huge, but it's going to continue being huge. So that's a good area. Where are you looking? Which firms are you looking to do this with?
RSM, Armanino, Crow.
Okay, all right. So you want a mid-tier firm. You don't want the big four. Perfect. That's
right.
Great. So how do you know that they have that stuff?
I met consultants. They have a consultant recruiter who connected me with other people, but it depends. I talked to the people who weren't even consultants, but they know, like, they sell the system, and he told me all about the specifics, and there's so much to know. There's D365 NetSuite, and it's huge. You learn something every day.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So see, you're building up your network right now by talking to all these people, by doing the recruiting side of it, but you're building up your network, okay? Because later on, you don't know if it's going to work out at Armanino or RSM or whatever, or let's just say you do know some of the people at these other places, and you guys are looking for people to hire. So you look at your network, okay? From all the years that you've been networking and talking to people, I want you guys to take the stigma out of networking, as instead of it being just going to events and doing these networking events. That's not what networking is. Yes, I mean, it is what networking is, but there's so much more to it. And the more you communicate with people, that's networking. Each time that you speak with somebody that's in your profession, or attorneys, or people that are kind of like in your network, that's networking. Okay, good. Gabriella, it looked like you were going to ask a question.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
What would you say are the pros and cons of virtual networking?
I don't know. I think we're all sick of networking virtually. It's weird. I'm part of a group called EPI. It's a bunch of consultants that just deal with exits, meaning a client wants to sell the business. So there's like usually an attorney, a banker, an accountant. It sounds like a beginning of a really bad joke, but you usually have these people working together. So I'm part of a group. I'm one of the founding members of a chapter over here in Corneo Valley that we meet. Actually, we're meeting tonight. That we meet, and it's all virtual. We were supposed to all be in one place, and we were actually going to start, I think, May of 2020 was the first actual meeting, like in place meeting. And then obviously we had to deal with it and do it. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same. It's some people like it because they don't have to drive anywhere or whatever, but I don't. I like the human touch, you know, just like not touch, but obviously, but just, you know, actually seeing a person in front of you and seeing their reactions. Just like, you know, we have about 10 people right now that are not even, I can't even see their face. So I can't even see their reaction. You want to see the, huh, yeah, that makes sense. Or, just so I can see if you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Sometimes with these Zoom meetings, you don't get to see it. And then you see that people are not paying attention because they're typing. Thank you, Isaac. People are typing stuff and not really paying attention to stuff. Okay, so it is what it is, and we deal with it. We're not going to complain about it. But if we had a choice, yeah, I'd rather meet in person. Again, I mean, I usually either meet or talk to the people that are part of my group, you know, the consultants that are part of my group. But when you're trying to meet a new person, it's a lot more, you know, difficult to do it this way. That's a good question. Tajesh, you were going to ask a question, right?
Sure. So one of my questions is like, professionals nowadays get a lot of, you know, how the accounting season has been going on forever, like the tax season and the busy season has been going on forever. What's the best way for the students to be in touch with them, given that their response they might not even get a response from them? How do you network in that kind of situation?
That is a great question. Just continue. Don't be annoying, okay? But just continue. If you don't hear from them after a week, then send them another ping, or a couple of weeks, let a couple of weeks. But don't do like every day. That's like weird, right? It's just like when, you know, somebody's not calling you back. But it's not because we're trying to avoid you, just so you know. And I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of that because it's just, there is so much going on. There's so much more like hand-holding. The stuff that we're dealing with right now with our clients is stuff that we've never had to deal with before. Clients need us more of our time is really focused on how do we help a client stay in business, okay? Instead of, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about bringing in my kids, or I'm thinking about hiring 15 new people because business is just growing a lot. Now it's, can you help me with my PPP loan? Okay, the application is ridiculous, or the forgiveness of the PPP loan, or the payroll tax stuff. So apparently now we're also SBA loan brokers, accountants are, but it just shows you how important, how vital our profession is, which is great. Okay, we spend a lot more time with clients. We deal with them on so many different issues that it's not just, who thought that, you know, being an accountant, you're just going to be behind a desk and you're just going to be, you know, just working a little bit on client stuff, or not having a lot of interaction with clients. Who over here thought that? Or not having to sell anything. All right, guess what? On a daily basis, you're going to be selling stuff. What are you selling? Ron, what do you think that we're selling?
Services.
Services, great. Our ideas, right? Our thoughts. Hey, I really think that you should do this because I seen it with another client. And the client's like, I don't know if I want to do that. We're selling. That is selling, okay? And the more that you know your client, the more that the client trusts you, you're going to go like, fine, okay, if you say so. But we're building up that trust. And right now, our profession is on the top of the food chain because of that. I know that I told you guys about it, some of you guys that have seen me speak in the past few years, that if you do not do recruiting, you're not going to get a job. Our profession is very, very, we focus on recruiting to get to know people, and it's going to be really tough. And for a period of time, it was tough. You have some firms that didn't make it through this this pandemic. They had to merge with other firms because they were just not ready for it. People lost their jobs, okay? But right now we're seeing an upswing of that. But there was a big, downswing of people getting laid off. And then I'm sure that you've talked to a bunch of people that graduated this year. How many of your friends would you say that graduated last year found jobs right away? A lot? All of them? People that were involved in the Accounting Association or VITA Alpha Psi or any of these, whether they're directors or they're officers or, just really, really active in there. I would tell you that most of them probably still got jobs. People were still hiring. They had to let go of other people, but people are still hiring. How is it right now? Have you guys gone through recruiting this year?
This year, the trend that I have seen so far is even though they got the offers, but their start date got pushed.
Yeah.
That's what happened a lot.
Because those companies don't know what's going to happen. They don't know, and it's difficult to really project. So they're like, okay, we'll just move you 6 months down the line or 3 months down the line. Has anybody else seen anything else? But guys, okay, Nicole, yeah, you were going to say something.
Internships were a little harder to get, more competitive, and their time frame were shorter than usual, like weeks. They should cut it down to like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and are you really gonna know anything by interning for 4 to 6 weeks? Probably not. I would tell you to continue to to press on and try to build that network, because once the floodgates open, once we turn from this craziness that we're dealing with right now, people are going to hire again. You guys are going to get jobs. You guys are in a great profession, in a profession that there's always stuff to do. I never knew that there were so many different areas that we can actually do stuff in. Apparently, the SBA stuff, that has nothing to do with accounting. Okay. Yeah, we look at financial stuff, but all of my clients that applied for PPP loans, I had to review their applications. Okay, I'm gonna pick on somebody else now. Natalie. You there, Natalie?
Yes.
Yes.
So
you were gonna ask a question. I'm sorry?
Sorry, I missed the question. I missed like.
Oh, there was no question. I was gonna ask you. What was your question?
Oh, I don't really. I mean, how do you actually? Okay, so I am curious about the SBA loan and like the PPP application. And I noticed at least my parents have a business, and they were working with that recently. So I know they're applying for forgiveness now. Do accountants generally help with that? Do they help with that process? Because I know she was trying to figure out how to allocate the payroll costs.
Right.
And she wasn't
so
sure,
yeah,
who to
that's definitely something that we look at, and there's more to it too, because last night, Sunday night, a client emailed me saying urgent. Okay, we need to get on the phone call. They got $3.7 million. They're a big nonprofit over here in Los Angeles, and they got $3.7 million from this. And now the bank came back to them with a bunch of questions on their loan forgiveness. Okay. So we have to jump in and work with them on this thing, because it's big numbers, and it's, instead of it being a loan, then it gets to be forgiven, and it's free cash. It's not really free cash, but it is free cash. So, but yes, we help our clients. That is something that we definitely do help our clients with. Never had to deal with it before. We had a group, or we have a group that deals with SBA loans, because they help businesses or help individuals buy businesses. So the SBA is usually a very they have beneficial or very simple terms that are really good for that. But the issue that we really were having this year with the SBA is that nobody knew what the rules were, and they kept on changing the rules. And you thought you were able to to qualify for it, and then all of a sudden you weren't qualified for it. So there were a lot of different moving parts, and that was part of, like, to Jesh's point, that we're working so many hours, and it's one big whole busy season. This whole year was a busy season. There was nothing else to do, right? So we were all working a lot and really helping our clients figure out. But guess what? I still brought in a ton of work this year. Okay, probably around $350,000 worth of new work. How? Because we were working so hard and helping our clients. And Natalie, to your point, do accountants help their clients with PPP loan? We did. There were some accountants that weren't, and guess what? Their friends, they talk to their friends, our clients, and they told them, hey, my CPA helped me with figuring out, because everybody was talking about this PPP loan, and some of them were like, does your accountant know what the hell they're doing about this thing? And we got new business because of that, because we were helping our clients and helping their friends.
Mm-hmm. No,
Okay.
I think I'm at that point where my mom thinks, as an accounting student, I'm qualified to assist her with the whole process. And I'm like, Mom, this doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't make sense to a lot of accountants either. Okay. But yeah, no, they thought that, hey, and at first we were like, why are they calling us? We're not bankers. We're not. And we had to stay on top of, like, all the changes. There were a bunch of FAQs that were sent out. I think it was like around 70 something FAQs. So every time there's a change, you had to read it and really understand it. And some of those were contrary to the previous FAQs. And it was, but you have to be on top of it. Okay. Again, this is part of networking. You take care of your clients. Your clients are going to be happy with you. Your clients are going to brag about how great your accountant is and how bad their accountants are, their friends' accountants, and that's how you bring in new business. So Natalie, next week I want you to do a presentation to everybody about PPP loans.
I've actually done it for my tax class before.
You did?
Surprisingly, but it was before, like, they issued, they were like going back and forth with whether or not they should, like, I guess, like, have the forgiveness or even do a forgiveness. It was around, like, last semester, so it's changed a lot since then. But
yes, it has, and there are so many things that are changing on a daily basis that you don't even know how to do tax planning for your clients, because what if this money is going to be now taxable? Like for California, this PPP loan stuff is taxable.
Mm-hmm.
For federal, it's not, but for the state, because we're just such a cluster over here, that they're like, okay, no, it's gonna be taxable. So now they're thinking about excluding 150,000 of it, or for certain industries to completely forgive it. Again, you have to be on top of it. Again, we have to be on top of it for who? For our clients. And our clients are then going to brag about how great you guys are to their friends or to their attorneys, and then they're going to go like, oh wow, yeah, we have the same issue. Do you think you can talk to me? And I've had, no joke, about 10 new clients last year because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, taking care of clients. Diana, you had a question? Did she hang up? No. Okay.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Antonio.
Nicole has a question.
Nicole, yes. Sorry, I didn't see that.
It's okay, thank you. What is one way that you recommend that we stay on top of this? Just being aware of, like, reading the news, or are there special, like, sites that we should be taking a look at to stay up to date with all of these policies?
Okay. Yes, always read. I tell my staff, read the news. Okay, see what's going on over there. And by the way, TMZ is not a good source. Okay, but even if it's Yahoo, even if it's Google News, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, LA Times, whatever you guys want to read. I am actually starting to have a bunch of my staff listen to podcasts it's a great way for you guys to, while you're walking, okay, which is important. People get outside, get some sun, right? So you go and you walk and you listen to either the Wall Street Journal has a great, like a 5-minute podcast on a daily basis, or some of these other ones that it just like, it triggers something. So you're like, oh, wow, okay, I want to read a little bit more about this. So then you can then go online and find some more information. But yes, you have to stay on top of this stuff. And it's, but the good news for you guys is that, look, the expectation of clients for newer staff, for you guys, when you guys are coming out of college, is not to know everything about the tax world. However, they expect you to learn. I expect you to learn. So whether it's reading about your profession, which is important, or even listening to the news and seeing. So I have a client that they're a wholesaler for lumber. Okay. They sell, and they're doing great right now because everybody's building apparently. But have you guys heard anything about lumber in the past couple of days? The cost of lumber has gone up significantly with new tariffs, with just additional costs that before they did not have. So right away, I emailed my client and saying, hey, how are you guys dealing with this? And he said, don't worry. We already have this. We already knew that this was coming down. New tariffs were coming down. So, we increased our prices a couple of weeks ago already. That we were aware of all this stuff. So that's great. But what if you have a customer that's small, that doesn't know everything, doesn't know how to deal with certain situations? They want to hear from you. Okay. Again, it's weird, but networking to me is more than just doing all this stuff. Networking is reading, learning, and then being able to talk to people about that kind of stuff. Do you think that all we do when we go out to network is talk about tax or accounting? God, that meeting is going to be boring, right? You got to know about other things as well. Okay. Does anybody have other hobbies that they really like and they read up about it a lot, or something in the profession that you guys want to get into? Well, listen to podcasts, listen or read online. Somebody just put a note in the chat saying Apple News Plus has Wall Street Journal and podcast on your phone. There you go. Thank you, Justin. That's great. Okay, or Daily Brew. Okay. Are they talking about beer, or is it about news?
No, it's like this email thing. It sends you like notifications of like different news and different industries on like a daily basis. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. See, it's stuff like that you should definitely don't just be like focused on one area. I'm trying to pass the CPA exam. Okay, fine, I get it. You need to pass the CPA exam, but you got to read. Okay, what do you talk to your friends about? That's what you're going to talk to these people and network about. Hey, so I heard about real estate market going bananas right now. Have you seen that? Yes? No? Well, over here it's going crazy. It's stuff like that instead of just, not all that we do is just talk about tax, even with our clients.
Well,
I'm a psychologist.
I hope everyone got some great points from that. Does anyone else have any questions for Lior?
I had a question.
Yes,
so
Ron.
A lot of what you talked about today was on the business side of networking, of how we use networking to possibly get future business. But one of my concerns, obviously, as a student, is that when I speak with professionals, is there's I feel like I don't have anything to offer to them. Like, obviously, when I'm networking, it's more that they have something to offer to me than I to them. Because right now I can't bring them any businesses yet. I'm just a student looking for a future career, but meanwhile they can offer me future employment, which so there's that imbalance. So how do you?
Right,
What
that's
do
a
you think
wonderful
about that?
question. And the thing is, you're trying to sell yourself. Okay, you're trying to sell yourself to them. Why should they hire you? Ron, you must be great at something, right? What do you like to do?
Outside of accounting, or?
Yeah, outside of accounting.
I like to bake a lot and cook a lot.
That's awesome. Everybody's doing that right now, right? That's
Yeah.
something that you talk to these people about, and they get to know you, and they're like, oh man, if I hire him, he's going to continue bringing food to the office. Great stuff that, you know, he's going to bake and whatever. That kind of stuff. It's that simple. Okay, you don't think about these things, but what are you great about? Okay, that's what, and that's how you sell yourself to these people. But I disagree with you 100% that you have nothing to offer them. Okay, that they only have something to offer you. You have something, you're unique. Okay, and you got to figure out what that uniqueness is and sell that to them. Okay, whether you have a 4.0 GPA or whether you have a 3.1 GPA. I had a 3.1 GPA. Okay, just so you guys know. So it doesn't matter if you're at the top or, you know, somewhere in the middle, which I was, but it doesn't matter. It's who you are. And you know, we talked a lot about different things. The partner that hired me. So I felt like, yeah, I don't know anything about accounting. I don't know anything about tax other than taking, you know, some classes. But, you know, I had something else that, you know, when I spoke about myself and this is what I do and this is my background and blah, 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 then you get to know these people that way. But you do have something unique and you do have something to offer people. You might not know it and you might not realize it, but you do. Okay, I'm not going to tell you everybody's unique, everybody's special and all that stuff, right? But there's something about you that you're trying to sell. Okay, and it could be something outside of that. You might be the best accountant in the world, but you are boring because you have nothing else to offer. And people are not going to just, they might come to you because they need your help, but other people, they want to know what else you're offering.
Wow, amazing insights, Lior. Before we get going here, we just want to, we have some announcements.
Yes, just to run through our announcements again. Please join us tomorrow, March 2nd, for our government panel to learn about alternative accounting options. Sunday, March 7th is our movie night, so please join us for a fun evening to de-stress. Don't
What
forget,
movie is it?
I'm not sure, actually. I think it's a surprise.
Oh, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Don't forget to fill out your apparel form sent via newsletter to receive this semester's swag. The deadline for that is March 14th. It's not too late to sign up for our mentorship program. You'll be paired with a student and a professional mentor to get advice from someone with experience in your desired field. Keep an eye out for our weekly newsletter with the links to our YouTube page. And if you haven't already, connect with us through Instagram at CSUN to get updates. Lastly, if you've missed any of our meetings or podcasts, we got you. They are on YouTube, so please don't miss out.
And one more note, let's take a group picture. So if you feel comfortable turning on your camera, right now is the time to do it. I'm gonna take a little group picture with everyone, all right? So I'm gonna give you like a few seconds. Everyone, if you can, turn on your camera.
Oh, for that you turn on the camera, but you know, to talk to me, you didn't?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I actually, I had my lunch break for my internship. So that's why I was talking to you.
Well,
camera for both.
Now we get to see everyone. All right, well, I'm gonna take the picture. So 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right.
Okay. All righty.
Thank you so much, Lior. We really enjoyed all these insights you had to provide. Just amazing. Thank you so much for your time and for coming to see us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lior.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank
Bye,
you, Lior.
everybody.